Guys, my name is Valerie Pinnock. I've had a few requests to do some review on variable data in InDesign. Essentially, I'll do training with people in person, and then it might be a few weeks, maybe a month before they actually end up doing a mail merge or needing that process. And sometimes they need a little extra review. So I wanted to have a video that I could provide to you guys to help you through that process as a nice reminder. If you guys are doing a mail merge and it's a pre-sorted list, just make sure that you're working with, AccuZip or another form of software to avoid undeliverable mail and to get those barcodes for the direct mail campaign. The one that I'm doing today is just going to be a address list for multiple up on a sheet for labels. I'm also going to do a envelope mail merge just without barcodes. So I've got this super real Excel file of address lists in front of us here that we'll use just to play with. Also, this is more so intended for like a one-sided print. So if you're doing variable data on a letter that's one-sided, or if you're doing envelopes, labels, like I said. If you're looking to do a postcard, I highly recommend using Fiery Freeform, and I'll link a video in the description to help you guys through that. It's a Fiery video, it's fantastic. Now, when we have an Excel spreadsheet, if we're going to do the data merge in InDesign, it requires a CSV file. So first step is we're going to have this Excel file and save it as a CSV. Now, you'll notice the top row here has just a title for each column. So that is important. If you were to have data in this first row, it's not going to actually print. We need to have titles telling the system what is inside of each column here. So I'll go to Save As. We'll save this on our computer as a CSV. And then we want to close out of it. It's not going to accept it if we still have it open on our computer. So I've made this little test envelope here. It's just a standard number 10 if you guys are curious of those specs here. And I'm going to draw a text box showing the system where I would like that variable data to go. Then I need to tell it where it's pulling that variable data from. So we've got, to get to the data merge window, you have Window, Utilities, and Data Merge. And that's going to open up that window that we were just looking at. So Window, Utilities, Data Merge. You'll hit these little lines on the top right, grab that data source, and you'll notice it only shows the mail list here in the CSV file. So it doesn't even see the Excel file. We'll hit OK. And then it pulled those titles into this box here. So now I'm just setting up my data merge the way that I'd like for it to print. So I've got first name, I'll put a space, and then last name, go to the next line, street address, next line, city, comma, space, state, space, zip. And I'm not doing exact measurements here. Just check with the mail specs to make sure that you're in line with where your addresses and endorsements and things are supposed to be. If we wanted to change the way this looks, we could throw this into a funky font. Some Helvetica in there. And I also want to mention that we do want the text box to have enough space for the longest amount of data that it's collecting. So if I had, the text box ending here, it's going to have overset text. And a benefit of using InDesign is it lets us know whenever there is overset text, and it'll give us a little pop-up at the end letting us know if there were any errors that it couldn't fit in this text box. But as a precaution, I always like to make this box fairly large. So then we'll just hit this Create Merged Document button in the Data Merge box. And this is just going to be a single record. And we can choose all records and hit OK. And then I'm going to zoom out here just so that you can see it put different data on each piece. We have all of our envelopes right here. There also is a nice little preview, option here, so you can have a look at it before you generate that full merge document. But then we could actually export this as a PDF from here and print it into the Fiery. So that would be doing envelopes. Now, if we're wanting to do like a label sheet or anything that had multiple up on a sheet, so a press sheet kind of situation, I'm going to use a template from Online Labels where it's just a standard 30 up address label, pre-die cut sheet. So this is the size of my label. I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to draw a text box that fits comfortably inside of that box because I don't want any text to go into other cut labels, right? I want it to all fit. So then the process is pretty much the same. I'm going to grab my data source, got my super real list here. We'll hit OK. And then we have first, last, street, city, space, state, space, zip. And again, you can hit your preview just to make sure that that fits comfortably. This is a smaller label, so it may need, a little bit of shrinking. We could also center this if we wanted to. As far as the paragraph settings go, I am just going to center the actual text box onto my label box. And for safety, I'm just going to group it. It's just good habits from what I recommend here. And then we want to create that merge document. So again, we'll hit these lines, create merge document. And here we can choose multiple records. And again, you can do your little preview here. And if you needed to customize the margins on that layout, you could measure it out. Mine has a 1/2 inch on the top and the bottom. It's got some space between the columns. So I actually went in and measured the template that I'm working with to make sure they all fit properly. And then we'll hit OK. This right here is the pop-up that I was referring to on having overset text. If there were any pieces that didn't fit in the text box, it would have a collection of errors here for you to check back. And then you could hit OK and you could go in and manually modify those few pieces if it's just a couple, or you could go back to your original piece and make some changes to it and generate a new merge document. But this right here would be my press sheet. And I'm just going to, place my label template, just make sure that I match up properly. But this looks pretty good. I absolutely could have scooted my text box over a little bit because my addresses are pretty small, but most addresses have a nice variety of suite numbers, things like that, that you would need to account for in that street address line, or even a second line for the address. So that is just kind of basic variable data in InDesign. Again, recommend you guys lean on AccuZip. Eric and Donna are great over there. Lean on your resources. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks for watching.